Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be live right now. It's been a long time, and I have so much new and exciting content to share. So, today, this video is about the number one irresistible mindset to magnetize any man and to make the current partner that you're with want to commit to you forever. So I'm really excited to dive in. And if you're coming on live, just let me know where you're from. And we'll get started here. So just making sure I'm on the right channel. All right. So, hi everyone. I see people hopping on live. So before I tell you this really powerful mindset that makes you incredibly magnetic, I want to talk about one of the mindsets and belief systems that actually works against almost every woman at a deep subconscious level. And this mindset, I believe, is something that it's not our fault that we have it. A lot of us struggle with it because it's one of the programs that we were actually programmed with, most of us, at a really young age as little girls. So I'm gonna share that with you, and what we're also going to talk about how to clear it. So let's see. I just want to make sure I'm on the right channel. All right. Looks like okay, perfect. So hi and welcome again. If this is your first time here, let me know who you are and where you're from. And we usually have a lot of fun in these live streams. All right. So one of the things that I have discovered in my own life, I mean, this whole video is really, it's really an inspiration from my own journey in all of this. And I'm really excited to share with you, but I've called it the Cinderella Complex. And just to start off, we as women, I mean, as all humans, have received a set of programs. These programs come from everything around us. They come specifically from society and the media. And the programs, you can think of them as little, some of the programs aren't bad, but a lot of them are not here for our highest good. So, for example, seeing an image of a woman who's been completely airbrushed and, modified is actually a program. And the subconscious mind, which is the land of the divine feminine, it's like a sponge, and it doesn't filter. The power of the feminine is not to have a shield. So the subconscious mind, which is the power of the feminine, does not filter what comes into it. And therefore, these images and, even lyrics from rap songs and all movies that we watch, it's all actually being recorded in our subconscious mind. They're all programs. And so we're literally being programmed. The subconscious mind is like the software of a computer. And so what happens is, without discernment and awareness of what's really going on, we have unknowingly been programmed with patterns and distortions that don't serve us. And they actually serve to drain our energy, our divine feminine energy, or Shakti. And this is what my whole platform is all about, is actually deleting those distortions and freeing us from them forever. Because when we do that, we reveal this pure, authentic, powerful, divine embodiment. And we don't have fear. We don't have anxiety. We don't have depression. We don't have these experiences that are not an expression of our true nature. A lot of people think that depression is normal. A lot of people think that anxiety is normal. A lot of people think that stomach aches are normal. None of it is normal. In fact, it's just, it's been normalized, but our true nature is free of a lot of this pain. And that's what this video is actually here to share with you as well. So the Cinderella Complex is one of these programs. When you tune into the Disney Channel, when we tuned into Disney Channel, we literally tune into a program, a TV program. Every movie is a program. So the program we receive then informs our entire life. One of the deepest programs we've received as little girls is the Cinderella Complex, which is when my knight in shining armor comes along, I will live happily ever after, right? And we know on a conscious level that may not be true, but on a subconscious level, we believe that to be true. And that's what works against us. Because whether you're in relationship or not, with this program active in any way, even in the slightest way, we begin to believe that our happiness is outside of ourselves. And especially that our happiness is in the hands of a perfect love relationship or a partner coming into our life. So if you're like me, for many years, I was really sad and even depressed in moments because I didn't have a relationship. I wasn't in a relationship with someone that I really wanted to be with. And, it made me ultimately, I felt really depressed from this reality. And I did a whole training called the Disempowerment Detox, which explained my whole process of realizing that, the hours and hours that I talked to my friends and cried about it and wrote about it and just basically begged the universe in desperation for love, that strategy was really working against me. And that desiring love at such a deep level was actually pushing it away, because it was essentially sending out this message that I'm not happy as I am, and I need that thing outside of myself in order to feel good. So this is one of the mindsets that is the most repelling to not just men, but also all humans. That when we need something in someone else to feel good about ourselves, it almost immediately pushes people away. We've all experienced this. So this is why it's so crucial and key to delete the Cinderella Complex, which is a conditioning that we're programmed with. So just to be clear, so the Cinderella Complex, if you're single, the Cinderella Complex shows up as, I need a relationship to feel good. And when that comes in, everything will line up. I'll finally have, the life of my dreams. I'll finally be happy. When my knight in shining armor comes, I'll live happily ever after. The thing is, if you get into a relationship believing that, you will be tricked for a while because when new love comes, it feels really good. It's really, really high. Nothing really super challenging shows up. You're in that honeymoon phase. And so it does feel like happily ever after. But then the moment that things get hard and sort of that honeymoon phase begins to phase out, you begin to experience challenges. And if you have the program running that when I meet the right person, I will finally be happy, the moment that you start to not feel good in your current relationship, you'll create or a thought will come up, which is, hey, this isn't feeling so good. I'm not happy. This must mean I'm not with the right person. And the problem with this is that if we put our happiness in the hands of our partner, we are perpetually placing our destiny and putting our responsibility on someone else. It gets in the way of divine love. It gets in the way of intimacy. It blocks what's possible in union between two people. And it perpetuates this pattern where we keep seeking the highs in love and in relationship. And basically the moment things get tough, one person will bounce or both people will be like, this isn't the right thing, rather than choosing commitment and diving in and doing the real work. So this is what's so powerful about divine love. Divine love is really the highest experience that any two people can have in a love relationship. It's when sacred energies are let's see, how do I describe this? So let me just tune in for a second. In my opinion, the way I see it, divine love is always my North Star. Divine love is when two people come together and they recognize that we're both sacred divine beings, and that we're really sacred energy, and that when we're with someone, we're uniting with someone sexually or just in an emotional connection and intimacy in any way, in partnership and teamwork and all those things, we're literally engaging with divinity, and we are that in ourselves as well. So divine love is the highest form of human experience, in my opinion. It can't really be tapped in without true commitment. And that's what I like to, that's something that's really important. And it'll actually be another video, why I believe committed relationship rather than open relationship is really one of our greatest portals, especially as women, to experience our highest power. Because in commitment, you can't run away. In commitment, you are forced to do the alchemy of love, which is the experience in the process of truly transforming and healing. So, all right, I wrote some notes. So this is the thing. When we place happiness outside of ourselves, we almost guarantee abandonment. And if you think about it, every single person has moments where they feel challenged. And in those moments that we feel challenged, often we will, reach for the cookies and the sugar and maybe binge eat and cheat on ourselves. So we abandon ourselves. We literally leave our relationship with ourselves in that moment that we cheat with food. Or we'll blame someone else, which is, again, placing responsibility outside of the self. So you will maybe blame your partner or blame your friend for the way that you're feeling, which then puts us in this victim consciousness, which, again, is taking our responsibility and placing it outside of ourselves. So for as long as we're placing our happiness and placing our responsibility outside of ourselves, we can never fully own our power and step into our path and really reveal our potential. So this is what this video is about, is this one mindset that is completely bulletproof. And I'm going to share it at the end of this video because this stuff is really, really important leading up to it. So relationships, love relationships specifically, are a complete mirror to the commitment that we have toward ourselves. That's why they are so powerful, because they keep us in line with our commitment toward ourselves. And all right, so just pausing for a second. I'll just check in with you guys. If you have any questions as this video goes and continues, feel free to share them in the chat, and I can get to them whenever we have a little moment to work on those. But I'm really happy to be live again. It's been a long time. I'm like, oh my gosh, forgot how to do this. But I'm really excited. The last 5 months, I've really been taking actually a complete break from work and everything. And it's been a huge, huge, huge time for me personally on my path. And the amount of healing that I've experienced is really, it's pretty massive. So I'm excited to come back and share everything I learned with you guys, because it's really big times. It's really, really big times. And in fact, I was actually talking to my boyfriend yesterday, and I was like, you know what? The world is the world. And I just felt this at a deeper level today as well. We all know how much challenge we hold. Every single human has faced challenge. And if someone appears to have not faced challenge, it's not true. We've all faced challenge, and we know that we get through it, but it doesn't mean that the challenge doesn't continue, and that there's kind of a lot that comes at us. And I was thinking about the world and the earth and what we're going through as a society as a whole, and really the earth is on such a big healing journey right now. And what I do with clients and in the Elevated Woman trainings is we really work with these alchemical frequencies. And one of the most powerful alchemical frequencies is the frequency of neutrality. It's neutrality and love and compassion. And the energy of neutral is it's like this static energy that can hold anything. It's almost like the divine masculine consciousness that is unmoving in the face of feminine chaos, the emotions that every single human holds. When around someone who does not budge in the face of that energy actually has a chance to organize and come into perfection. This is all perfect, and then this gets to create into its next form. So what the world is going through right now, if we can just macrocosm our own experiences in our lives, especially if you're on the healing journey, we can actually have a lot of compassion for this earth. And I was feeling into it, and it's like, how can we each, rather than be like, oh my gosh, I wish this wasn't happening in the world right now, or I can't wait for things to get to normal. What if we just expanded beyond what's happening? It's almost like we allow our energy to get bigger than the entire globe itself, the entire earth itself, and put ourselves in this energy of actually holding the planet energetically and expanding ourselves so much that we can actually witness what's going on in a neutral way. And that's what we all need to do in our own healing journeys, no matter how tough it gets. So, Stacy, good to see you. She did the Feminine Elevation System that happened in January. That's so fun to have you back here. Is there anything you believe now that you didn't believe 5 months ago? Curious to hear what new beliefs you have remembered amidst the chaos. Yes, beautiful. Thank you for that. So, yes, this whole video is about basically this one belief system that completely changed in my life. So I met my boyfriend about 10 months ago, and right before that, I had really been debunking this belief that love would be the answer to my dreams. But then once we were in this deep, beautiful relationship, we had like 5 months of this honeymoon. And then I feel like when everything hit, it was like our alchemical work started. Like when we went into quarantine, it was like we went into the pressure cooker. The alchemical love chamber was like a pressure cooker. And we were straight up in the deepest process of our healing work together. And it was so interesting because at the beginning of that phase, when the honeymoon phase started to shift and these things started to pop up in our relationship, I literally was like, what the heck? This is the right person. This is the person I want to be with forever. If this is the right person, then why am I not feeling good? Why is happiness not here? Because the Cinderella Complex, this program was running in my field, was running in my system. And it said to me, with the program active, I believed that my partner, this person I was in a relationship, would be the answer to all of my prayers, really, the answer to all of my my pain. And on a conscious level, I knew and I know that that's not the truth. But the thing is, as at a subconscious level, most of us have this program running at a subtle level. And that's what we need to clear out and work on, because even at the slightest activation, this program robs us of our happiness. It continuously puts the responsibility in someone else. So, a lot of people will get into a relationship, and the moment it gets hard, they will bounce, or one will get avoidant, or one will get anxious. And this is the thing about avoidant and anxious attachment styles. Both are equal ways that we're actually abandoning ourselves and avoiding pain and leaning into an addiction, which is love and our partner. And so they're both equally coming from pain and an experience of void within. One person deals with that void by leaning out and running away from the relationship, and one person deals with that void and that pain by leaning in and searching for security through closeness. But they're both equally vulnerable, So there's a lot of content. So I'm actually doing a 3-day training starting next week, August 18th 18th through the 20th. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the whole training, actually the first day of the training is completely free. So I'll put a link. It's eastwestinterviews.com. If you want to join for that first day of the training, we're going to be diving super deep into all of this content. We're going to go into the alchemy of love, what the alchemical love chamber is. We're going to be working with codependency, love addiction patterns. We're going to be working with, the anxious and avoidant attachment styles, intimacy and trust issues. We're going to be looking at all of this because if you resonated with any of those terms, and really codependency is as simply as possible. The shortest definition of it is feeling responsible for someone else's feelings. So codependency is when you have patterns of codependency active in your field, you'll often feel responsible for the way other people feel. So it makes it really, really challenging to feel good in yourself when you're constantly abandoning yourself to take care of those around you. And really, you're not really taking care of them. You're trying to take care of yourself. You're trying to feel good in yourself by controlling the people around you. So one of the things that we're going to be working on in this 3-day training, which is just the level 1 of this work, is how to basically self-soothe and take responsibility again within of the way you feel. So we're going to be breaking those patterns of codependency. So if you want the free access to that, you can go to eastwestinterviews.com. And I also am doing, if you want the full 3-day access, you can get it here. And I'll put a link up as well right here. So, and that's going to be a deeper dive as well. And then there's like a whole, this is level 1. Next week is going to be level 1. And then September is going to be level 2 and 3, which is actually a 6-week program. But this is just the intro training if you're wanting to get your feet wet in this stuff. The training is called Cultivating Committed Love. So I'm really excited to be sharing this. And if, this is just literally like 1/20th of what we're going to be talking about in the training, is this idea of the Cinderella Complex and how to completely detox it from your system. So I'll just finish up with this, the concept for today. So one thing that's really, really important, I use the word distortion. And distortions are basically our shadow side, in a sense where, so the core code, we all have this core code, which is this perfect, aligned, pure system. And babies are operating in their core code. I mean, they begin to receive distortions even in the mother's womb because they're conscious then. But basically, every human holds this core code, which is this experience of complete divinity. It's being completely free of distortions, which are just these ways that energy around us contracts in our field. And if you think of light's just coming down into our body constantly. But if there's contractions in our field, there's these distortions, then the light is emanating from us, but getting warped and getting distorted. So the distortions are the programs. The programs like, oh, my face doesn't look like that, so I'm not as valuable or beautiful as that person. It's a distortion. So as we walk and exist through the world, we're actually sending out a distorted energy, and we're attracting a reflection of that. But if we clear those distortions, then we begin to emanate our truth, which is, my beauty is my divine nature. I am the most valuable energy that could ever exist on this entire planet. I am pure power, love. And we begin to embody our true essence. And without the distortions, we emanate that clearly, purely, and we begin to attract from that space. So if you find yourself continuing to perpetuate patterns in your love relationships, in your life, likely there are distortions that are active in your field. And we get to go through this process of deleting them, deprogramming yourself, completely neutralizing everything that is not true. That's what this work is all about. So challenges are, all right, so this is the number one irresistible mindset that you can adopt that will make you instantly magnetic to really any man. And if you're in a love relationship, turning this mindset on is going to, you'll feel him lean in a really powerful way. And that mindset is, my happiness is my responsibility, and the way I'm feeling right now is not your responsibility. So, I mean, that's a simple, basic way, but there's other ways I could say this. So it's really, if you're having a moment of trigger, it's being able to communicate that what's going on has nothing to do with that person, even if you feel like that person is the source of the trigger. It's being able to have so much sovereignty and responsibility to say, I'm experiencing a trigger right now. And this trigger is something that has likely existed in me far before you ever entered into my life. I'm struggling within myself with something that I've struggled with for a long time. It's showing up right now. It's not your responsibility. And when we begin to take responsibility at this level, we take the other person off the hook. We release them from that role as our savior, as the knight in shining armor, and we lean on a greater trust. When the masculine feels this, they feel a sense of relief, and they feel a deeper sense of trust toward us, because every person knows that they actually could never be responsible for someone else's soul. Even a mother to a child is not responsible to that person's soul. They're responsible for keeping the child safe in physical ways and caring for them and nurturing them in physical and emotional and psychological ways, yes. But they're not responsible for the soul of that being, ultimately. So when we take that pressure off, we not only allow that person that person gets freed of that completely confining and restricting and toxic, and what's the word? It's like claustrophobic distortion. We take that distortion off of them, but we also, our energy goes like this. It's like we actually clear a distortion within ourselves, and our aura, our energy literally goes, and we open up to so much more power, so much more energy in that moment, that we realize that our happiness is our responsibility. We become more beautiful, and we are allowed in that moment as well to get more vulnerable. True vulnerability is not crying and having an emotional storm with the subconscious, often manipulative intention to be shifted and helped and fixed by the person outside of us. That's a manipulative vulnerability. It's false vulnerability. True vulnerability is coming to our partner or someone and saying, I'm really struggling with this, and it honestly has nothing to do with you, and it really isn't even your responsibility to even help me with this right now. But usually when you're with someone who's committed to you and has your highest interest in mind, they'll instantly show up for you and support you, but they're not going to take that pain away from you. They just begin to show up with that warm, loving, neutral, compassionate, kind, healing space. And we can begin to give that to them as well. So I just wanted to hop on for a shorter video today, and I'm going to be doing a lot more content in the next months. I'm so excited. I'm back. I've been totally in my own process for a while, and I feel so full and rich of this new content that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So I'm so excited. So if you're interested in thank you, Tris. And yeah, I just want to check in with you guys. I'd love to hear. I just love your comment about cheating on ourselves with diet would be a reflection of our relationships. Yeah, exactly. So that's a really big takeaway is remembering that whatever you're facing in your relationships is often a direct reflection of your commitment toward yourself. And if you're wanting deeper commitment in your friendships and love relationships, it's really about mastering that commitment to yourself. So what we're going to be working on in this 3-day training called Cultivating Committed Love Level 1. Level 2 is happening in September, and it's a deeper 6-week dive. In this 3-day training, we're working with 3 archetypes. We're working with the divine child, the divine mother, and the divine goddess. And all 3 of these are related because basically we all have work to do in healing our relationship with child, which is the part of us that activates the avoidant attachment style or the anxious attachment style, that activates lack of trust, that activates love addiction, which is really just leaning into, it's often the experience of if you feel like you lose yourself in love, you come into relationships strong and feeling empowered and confident and full on in your purpose in life, and then slowly but surely you begin to lose yourself, then likely you have some programs, some patterns of love addiction in your field. I definitely have had that in my field as well. So, and it's important to actually own it and embrace it and see it, because that's the first step to clearing it. But it was hard for me to actually admit that at a certain point. It's super powerful though, once I did, to really look at that. So the divine child is she's really the source of a lot of our struggling and our suffering. So what we want to do is really, really attend to her and activate the divine mother. And right now on the earth, being able to be connected to your own inner divine mother is so potent. The earth is going through healing, and so you are going through healing. And she, the divine mother, is one of the most important archetypes for this time. And so with those 2 combined, the divine goddess is revealed, and that's really you in your highest self, your highest form, your highest expression. When you think about who you want to be in this world, that's who the divine goddess is. So we're working with that archetype as well. All right. So Olivia is asking, you mentioned staying neutral. Could you elaborate? When should we be staying neutral in our lives? Neutral is one of the most powerful frequencies to master. It's one of the elevated feminine frequencies. You can think of it as 0 point. So I would say working with neutral, we'll be doing that in the training and definitely the 6-week training as well. But the working with neutral is mastering 0 point, which is basically, it is the energy of love. Love is actually neutral. It's not positive. It's all encompassing. It's both expansion and emptiness at the same time. It's literally, love is present in heartbreak and the experience of being in love. It's love is present in loss and gain. So it's both, it's plus 100 and minus 100, which equals 0. It's hard to describe, but so neutral, I would say learning to activate that and call on that in any moment is so key and powerful, because if you're feeling a trigger come up and you're able to bring neutrality into your field, you're basically turning on this alchemical fire within you. And that fire, like fire, is neutral. It's actually doesn't have preference. It'll burn up anything. It's not just burning up. It'll burn up anything. So if you neutral, which is love, is really this purifying frequency, and it is what we need in terms of transforming our triggers. So we'll dive into it in the training. So hopefully I see you on Tuesday for the free day, and maybe for the whole training as well. But we'll talk more about it then. I do want to make this video a little bit short, but hopefully that helps a little bit. I would say ask the universe to bring in the experience of neutrality, to show you what 0 point is, and to allow you to really know the feeling in your body, to get to know the frequency of neutral in your body. And just ask the universe. And if you ask the universe, you'll begin to receive the answers in your own way. And that's going to be more valuable than me telling you what it is. But we will work with it in the training. So I recently let go of a friendship that was toxic, still feeling some anxiety over breaking that pattern, but it's for the better. Yeah, totally. So all those things, all of it is all of our relationships are literally here to completely purify us. They're all here for that. Whether it's with your mom, your child, your boyfriend, your best friend, it's all here to mirror back at us what is pure and what's been distorted in our field. And anything that doesn't feel good is a sign that something is ready to be detoxed and cleared. All right, so I am going to stop there. There's one last thing I wanted to say. Let's see, what is it? I forgot, but that's okay. So I hope to see you guys in the training, and you can bring all your questions to that. I'm so excited for next week. It's going to be really, really rich and really transformative. So let's see, anything else? I think that's good for now. There's so much rich content, and there's so much transformation that's about to happen. So definitely come for the first day, which is free for all. And I hope you stay for the whole training. It's actually only $97. It's half off right now. And you'll also be able to own, if you purchase 3 days, you'll be able to own it forever as well. So thank you so much for making the world a better place by being yourself and sharing your wisdom. You're beautiful inside and out. Warm greetings from Norway. Amazing. My name is actually, my mom named my brother and I after her Norwegian ancestry. So that's cool. All right. I hope to see you guys next week. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to, I remember. Follow me on Instagram at The Elevated Woman. I actually changed it to @ElevatedWomanTraining, but anyway, right now it's at The Elevated Woman. And I'm posting a lot of this new content there. So if you're not following me already, make sure to do it there. And then there's lots of links and stuff that help you know where to sign up and all that. So I'll see you soon. Reach out to me for any questions, and have the best day. All right. Talk to you soon.